Hi guys, I am here with a true story from the All Creatures book that I ordered, the magazine. Here's a picture of one. There's a woman that works in the zoo with a flamingo. Aren't the flamingos beautiful? I love flamingos. And there's a monkey cuddling with a surrogate stuffed animal monkey. They put them with, they put a lot of the babies, monkeys, and Sherman and I watch a lot of the zoo shows where they take care of the animals, and they'll put baby koalas and kangaroos and like this little monkey and stuff. They'll put them with stuffed animals, monkeys and penguins and stuff like that, and they'll hug up to them like that, like they would their parent. It's like a surrogate parent for them when their parents, don't want them, don't take care of them. Okay. This one's called My Best Teachers. In more than 40 years of working at the San Diego Zoo, I have learned a lot from the animals, says George Anna Irvin. My career at the San Diego Zoo started back in 1978. As a child, I often visited this zoo, and getting a job there was a dream come true. At first, I didn't know much about the issues facing wildlife, but I quickly learned that many species were and still are in trouble and desperately in need our help. Initially, I worked in public relations and fundraising. Then in 2017, I helped launch the San Diego Zoo Global Press, which publishes books for adults and children. I write the Hope and Inspiration Children's Series, which features true stories about animals at the zoo and its safari park that have overcome challenges and hardships in their lives. The animals I write about hold a special place in my heart. I wanted these books to introduce children to specific animals, help them grow to love that animal, and then teach them the importance of protecting all animals. The books have had a greater impact than I ever expected. Young readers have learned important life lessons through the stories. To be honest, so have I. The zoo has paired cheetahs and dogs, I've seen that, as animal ambassadors since the 1980s. Cheetahs are shy and nervous and need the comfort of their canine companions. Because the cub and pup are raised together, they are strong, lifelong bonds. Ruxa, a cheetah cub at the safari park, and Raina, a Rhodesian Ridgeback puppy, were like brother and sister from the start. Keepers noticed that young Ruxa's legs were bowed. Veterinarians were unsure if they would be able to run even after surgery, but no one told Ruxa he couldn't. With Raina by his side during surgery, it wasn't long before he was running at top speed. When Raina was 2, veterinarians discovered several tumors in her body and diagnosed her with terminal cancer. Raina had just months to live. Trainers were heartbroken for her and worried how Ruxa would do without her. They brought a little Ray, a Rhodesian Ridgeback puppy, hoping this new friend would be there for Ruxa when Raina was gone. Then something amazing happened. Raina didn't die. She didn't even seem sick anymore. Another scan showed that the 2 smaller tumors had disappeared, and the larger tumor had shrunk enough so it could be removed. 3 rounds of chemotherapy later, she was cancer-free. Today, Ruxa, Raina, and little Raya live together. Their friendship reminds me to believe in miracles. Let's see if we can continue on with this, or if that's the end of that story. Yeah, let's continue on. Here's another picture. And here's a picture of the dogs and the cheetah. Huh? Ruxa, Raina, and Raina, Rhea, and Ruxa there. Okay, let's continue reading. Karen, a Sumatran orangutan, which you know the orangutans are endangered, was raised by keepers because her mother wasn't able to nurse her. At a year old, Karen wasn't growing as quickly as she should have been. Veterinarians discovered a penny-sized hole in her heart. She needed open heart surgery, which had never been done on an orangutan. 2 of the world's top cardiac surgeons volunteered to repair Karen's heart. For 2 weeks following the surgery, Karen remained on a ventilator because of a lung infection, and doctors were concerned she might not survive. Finally, she started breathing on her own. Karen's story was all over the news. Letters poured in from around the world. One get well card came from a 5-year-old girl named Jeannie, who was fighting leukemia. She promised to visit Karen as soon as she was well enough. Jeannie beat cancer and grew up to become an emergency room nurse. To this day, Jeannie still visits Karen at the zoo every chance she gets. Sharing the challenges we face can help others summon the bravery to overcome their own challenges. 7 years ago, Floyd the flamingo, which you've seen on the picture, was hatched and started his training to become an animal ambassador at the zoo. As Floyd grew, his caretakers noticed that his legs were crooked, and it looked as if he had 2 left feet. He went through a series of surgeries to straighten his legs. Still, no one was sure Floyd would ever walk again. He worked hard to regain his strength and balance, and when he took his first steps on his own, his trainers cried with joy. Floyd rejoined his flock and returned to his job as an animal ambassador. One day last December, Floyd fell. His legs were injured so badly there was nothing veterinarians could do. It was devastating to lose Floyd, but he lived 7 wonderful years, time he never would have had if he hadn't persevered. He showed me that life isn't always easy, but it's always worth living. When Mosi Musa, a vervet monkey, was born, his mother showed no interest in caring for him, but his grandma Thelma was drawn to him. She cuddled and helped him and taught him to be a monkey. Mosi grew confident and independent thanks to his grandma, and soon he was able to live full time with his vervet family. Eventually, Thelma's health failed. I visited her shortly before she died. Even in her weakened state, she continued to be protective of Moosey. She fulfilled her purpose until the end. Thelma reminded me that we are never too old to make a difference, a message that with me as an approach at any age at which many people retire, I love what I do and plan to help animals as long as I can. These days I'm busy observing and sometimes photographing close to 10 animals for future children's books. There's something fascinating about not knowing how each story will turn out. It's a lot like life, I guess. Not knowing where I will go is part of the adventure. I've learned so much about different species over the course of my career. All I've ever wanted to do was share that knowledge. That's why I started writing these books, to teach people about animals. As it turns out, the animals are the real teachers. From left to right, guys, Karen and her nursery mom. And then over here is Ruxa, Reina, and little Rhea. I hope you guys enjoyed the story.